It's like we need more of this where you're shadowing, you're here, you can totally play this ball. Like I almost see you wanting to play this, but you let your teammate go. No, your camp settings are fine. They're just too low for me. Low rider. Oh, it was nice. Nice try. Mechanics are fine. I actually like some of the mechanics we're going for. It's just breaking down, but I don't really want to talk about mechs. I like what we're going for. Again, a little bit more meta. I would keep it up. Game sense wise, I feel like we're putting our teammate in a lot of uncomfortable positions. I like where like decision making is. I think that's a better way to say it. Although I do think we're overcommitting a little bit, but it's more of the game sense behind like setting up a teammate. I feel like we're hard to read. It also could be like teammate, but like I do feel like we're a little bit hard to read. That's why we're not like it's not clear cut what we're going for. What I would call this replay very creative decision making, but hard to read. Like even like this is what I mean. Like and this is like there's been a ton of examples. But this is what I mean. Like given that player was like getting bumped, but like you see how he's kind of like sitting and waiting. I wouldn't necessarily change decision making. I feel like this is good for individual improvement purposes. Very good play. Very good play. It's like I almost feel like part of it is the execution, but I almost feel like we stay like just like that. We stay in the play a little bit too long. And it kind of ties into the clear-cut read or the clear-cut decision making. Like I feel like we need to maintain our decision making but make it quicker. I almost feel like that's the roadblock. It's not that we're hesitating. Like I guess you could call it hesitating, but I seriously think like maintain our decision making, keep being creative, both mechanically and challenge wise, but just commit sooner. And I think like last time we watched some of the replay through the opponent's eyes, like if you ever have time, that's a really good exercise for you as a player. I want to try to find more examples to kind of solidify my thesis on this. I always say this, it's better to make a quick decision that's bad than like a smart decision that's slow. Like I almost want you to like really work on the readiness and the quickness of your decisions while still maintaining your creativity and build out mechanical consistency through that. It's a speed of decision making because I like where everything's at. I want to see if there's anything else that's bugging me with this kind of theme. Before I said I think we need to leave the play more. Part one is like making quicker decisions, but part two, it's and this is super tough, but it's understanding when to leave the play. Like I don't know if we're losing awareness for a teammate. We don't trust a teammate. We're just being a little overly aggressive or ball chasey. But like you went for that ball, like you turned up for the ball, and like teammates here. But it's like I don't want you to leave the play and be passive. But I almost feel like that ties into the quickness of decision making too, to be able to like quickly see your teammate and decide to leave. We're just kind of overdoing some of these plays, and it's all rooted in we're making our teammate's job a little bit hard as a second man. Good. Beautiful. Quick decision. Good. Good. It's like we need more of this where you're shadowing, you're here, you can totally play this ball. Like I almost see you wanting to play this, but you let your teammate go. It's not like you're leaving the play, because I don't really want you to leave the play. It's more so I want you to still be tight, still be positionally aggressive, still cut, but like allow a teammate to cycle up while still staying tight. And this is a defensive example, but like with that offensive example before where your teammate was playing the corner right before OT, it's like I still want you to do that ball side rotation, but don't turn up the wall. Like that's how you head fake out your teammate. Like being able to maintain what we're doing, just we want to be easier to read. This is like super. I don't like this because this is kind of tough, meaning like how do you train this as a player? I think the easiest way to train it is just make quicker decisions. A lot of benefits to this. Highlighting a teammate, not leaving them alone, probably reducing their mistakes. So like that's the whole, like your teammate just did it to you, right? Like you're in the position to go, you want to go, but like he's kind of, I know he's trying to dodge you, but like if this player could have kept the same rotation or maybe slightly did it to the midfield or went like straight horizontal on the wall, because it almost looks like he's trying to turn on this. And it's like avoiding that, trying to use that as an example. Because like I want you to keep rotating ball side. I want you to keep being creative. I want you, because like all this is what, like you need to learn how to ball side rotate effectively. I would play more twos. And then soon it's like finding ways to slow down, but you know, working back that progression. But I like this. I like where gameplay is overall. Because like part of it with the control, the reason I said that is, and part of its mechanics, but like a way to like make your teammate's job easier is to control the ball. If I'm playing a second man in Rocket League and my first man is very close, and my first man's beating players and controlling the ball, that makes my job so easy as a second man. Like if you're consistently beating players, because like if you're really inconsistent with mechs or really inconsistent with 50s, then as a second man you don't know how to position, right? Like you'll run into these moments like this where, and your teammate's actually not bad, but you'll run into teammates who like are much more awkward, and like he's trusting you to 50 this, that's why he's playing close, and then you big beat. Not everyone can deal with this situation like your teammate did. Like they might panic. But I like where everything is, man. Super solid. Congrats on beating Musty. That used to be a meme and now it's a real thing. Musty's good. Yeah, I mean half step, those cuts are tough by definition, man. Super tough. I always like to work progressions with players, right? This, go back and forth, kind of teeter-totter. I like where your gameplay is, fine. And I wouldn't really worry about hours. I think what has a bigger impact on hours is if you go from like 30 hours a week to 5 hours a week. When there's a big fluctuation like that. Like if you're just at like a lower hour, meaning like 10 hours, but you usually like maintain 15, 20. Like I think that's fine. It's whenever you dip like super hard. That's typically when you see like a loss of performance. Yeah, that's a pretty big dip for sure. But at the end of the day, bro, like you're not trying to go pro. I think you play collegiate. I mean, obviously everyone's like, oh, I'd love to go pro. Like, bro, you're in college, you know? Like enjoy yourself. And you can also enjoy yourself and take carball serious. I mean, I think you could be SSL for sure. Especially if we keep doing what we're doing. I seriously think the difference between like SSL and like Grand Champ 2, SSLs have a little bit more mechanics and they're faster and a little bit more game sense, just more refined and polished as a rank. Typically like Grand Champ 2s have decent mechanics. It's just a little bit slower. They might overthink a little bit more. Yeah, keep playing ones if you want it, brother. Because like if I watched your gameplay and I saw you never slow down or never control the ball in that twos game, then I would say play ones. But like I typically only recommend ones for players who can't really find control in a 2v2 setting. But like if you want to play ones, play ones. Up to you. Like I'm not going to tell you not to play ones. But that's kind of like my approach to ones. Cuz overplaying ones has kind of a nasty side effect for threes in my opinion. You kind of not like you forget how to rotate, but you kind of lose the game sense of threes.